الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد نتابع درسنا. We will continue our class in the explanation or in going over the book الفتاوى الوادعية على الأسئلة النسائية, the answers of Sheikh Muqbil bin Hadi al-Wadi'i rahimahullah on questions by the women, questions of the women. And as always, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, we will take a few questions. And of course, subhanAllah, in the last, I think 2 weeks, we were not able to have the class due to scheduling issues. Allah al-Musta'an. So I apologize to the sisters. But anyways, inshallah, we have a few questions from the sisters that we will try to answer, or we can try to answer as many as we can before going into the book itself. So one sister asked, just need to let the sisters know, a lot of those questions that they are sending, many of them, inshallah, they will come later. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, they will come later as part of the book itself. So one sister, she asked, I heard that if you have gold that is below nisab, and nisab, of course, is the amount, the known amount that if the person reaches, a person has a specific amount of wealth. If it reaches this amount, then one must give zakah every year that passes, and he or she has that amount, then one has to give zakah for that wealth that one has. And that is, of course, it is a very lengthy topic as far as the different types of wealth that one must give zakah on. For example, one does not give zakah on his house and the likes. However, this sister, she asked, if one has gold that is below nisab, meaning that by itself, this gold by itself, she would not have to give zakah for it, but also has money that is eligible for zakah. So one has both money and gold, currency and gold. We can combine and give as zakah. But how do we calculate? طيب. We say to the sister, Barakallahu fiki. May Allah bless you and protect you and preserve you. My sister, this is a matter that in regards to wealth, currency, in regards to currency specifically. Currency, the people of knowledge, they say it is considered to be gold, meaning that we look at the value of currency in gold, and based upon that, we estimate and figure out whether or not, together with the gold that the sister has, they reach the amount of nisab. So yes, you do combine them, because both of them are considered to be wealth, or considered to be like currency. And originally currency was of gold and silver, but now that we have those currencies, regardless of what they are, US dollars or Saudi riyal or riyal or anything else, barakallahu fikum, regardless of what type of currency it is considered to be like gold. So we combine it with the gold, and based upon that, there are different ways of doing it. There are different ways of estimating and calculating zakah for them together. طيب. One way is to estimate the value of currency that one has in gold, add them to the amount of gold that one has, and based upon that, come up with how much zakah of gold. So she can give her zakah entirely from her gold, or she can estimate the value of her gold in currency and then give the zakah for all of them together from her currency. An example of that, barakallahu fikum. If a person has, and we'll use US dollars, if this sister, she has, say, $5,000 worth of gold, and has $10,000 in cash. Combined together, they come up to the value of $15,000. and we know that there's 2.5%. So that's $250 for each 10,000. So that comes out to about barakallahu fikum, $375 together between gold and money that she has. So they come up to around $375. So she gives 300, she can give $375 as money. She can give the value of $375 as gold, or she can give a little bit from this and a little bit from that. Partially from money and part of it from money and part of it from gold. So it doesn't matter. Money is treated as gold, or we can say, because nowadays people, what they usually estimate by is the money, then we say gold is treated as money. Both of them are considered to be currency. Now, I hope this is clear. Of course, barakallahu feekum, to the sisters, if you ever have any follow-up questions regarding any of the answers, inshallah you can post them, you can ask. I think the brothers at Sunnah Scene, may Allah reward them with tremendously and abundantly for arranging and organizing those classes. They have a Telegram group where the sisters can post their questions, and this group is, as far as I understand, it is, I'm sure that is the case, that it is only for sisters, so they can go in and post their questions, and the brothers then give me the questions. Now, so another sister, she asked, can a woman ask for divorce if her husband wants to marry a second wife, to take a second wife? We say to the sister, barakallahu fiki, that the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that no woman, in the meaning of the hadith, no woman asks her husband for divorce for no reason except that she will not find the essence, the smell of the paradise. So the woman asking her husband for divorce is not a joke. It is not a matter to play around with. There is a severe warning against doing so. So what we advise the sister with is to remain patient. This is something in having more than one wife. It is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislated for the men. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise. He subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise. He knows what rectifies the affairs of His servants. And so we advise the sister to remain patient and not ask for divorce. Unless her husband becomes unjust, then that is a different matter, meaning that he deals with her and he treats her unjustly. For example, that he does not give her her rights because he's gotten married to another woman, and he treats her unjustly, then in this case she has the right to ask for divorce. Now, and other than that, the woman, we advise the sister to remain patient, and to know that this is the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it permissible for her husband to get married to more than one wife. And therefore, just a point that we have to mention, in some places it might be illegal and this might get the person in legal trouble. So if this is, of course, this is something that one should be aware of, that one should not go into anything that gets him in trouble with the law. Now, but other than that, where it is legal and there is no problem with doing it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it legislated for the men to get married, to get married and to have more than one wife. It is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala legislated, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-wise. He does not legislate anything except that there is good in it. You might not know what is the good, what this good is, and what this great wisdom is in the legislation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But regardless, what is upon you is to remain patient. This is my advice to the sister. Of course, this does not mean that you will not become jealous, or that jealousy should go away and that that jealousy is impermissible in this case. No, jealousy, natural and normal jealousy, is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the people with. And therefore, you are not asked not to have jealousy. However, what you are asked is to not allow your jealousy to overtake you and make you do things that are impermissible. Now, another sister, she asked, is the voice of a woman awra? And this next question is kind of related. And the sister asked, can a woman give Islamic talks publicly? What are the conditions if it is allowed? طيب. So we will combine those two questions. Barakallahu fiki. May Allah protect and preserve the sisters who asked the questions. We combine them because they are related. Is the voice of a woman awra? We say the voice of a woman is not awra by itself. Is not awra. The voice of the woman is not awra. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned the women against softening their speech in a way that causes trial and tribulation and causes those who have ill and sick hearts to become affected with the voice of the women. This also is the speech of the most merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He commanded the women to not soften their speech in such a way that affects the hearts of the people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we said and as is known, He is the all-wise, all-knowing. He subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. Does He not know that which He created? And He is the all-knowing, all-wise. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what the weakness of the people are, or what the weaknesses of the people are. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that the speech of the woman, when she softens her speech, that it could affect the people. It could cause a trial and a tribulation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the women not to soften their speech. And so her voice itself is not awra, meaning that she is allowed to, if there is a reason, for example, she goes to a marketplace and she wants to buy or sell or ask about the price of a product or the likes of these things, she's allowed to speak to men in this case. However, and this is a matter that will come inshallah. Sheikh Muqbil, rahimahullah, in his book, in this, or in his answers that are collected in this book, he spoke, rahimahullah, there is a chapter regarding those matters, and he rahimahullah clarified this matter in detail. However, we say, barakallahu fiki, if there is a reason for the woman to speak to the men, she is allowed to. It is not impermissible. If there is no reason, then she should not. And in addition to that, can she give Islamic talks publicly? If the question is regarding that she is in a public place, meaning she is in the presence of women only, in a public place where there's only women, then inshallah she can. However, if there are men, then we advise the sister not to. We advise the sister not to speak in the presence of men, Islamic talks and the likes. First of all, we find that this was not the way of the Salaf. And this is not what is legislated for the woman. Look at, for example, who gives the khutab, the sermons? We find that it is the men who give the sermons. It is the men who raise their voices in different situations. The woman, in takbirat, al-Eid for example, in al-Talbiyah, when performing Hajj, saying labbaik Allahumma labbaik, the women are commanded to lower their voices and not raise their voices. And likewise, if the Imam makes a mistake in the Salah, the women are commanded to clap their hands and not say Subhanallah, whereas the men, they say Subhanallah. So all of these things, if we look at them, we find that in general, the women are not supposed to speak in the presence of men unless there is a necessity. It is not a matter that a woman, this is not befitting for the women to stand in front of the men and to speak publicly. And this is not from the shyness that the women are supposed to have. And I advise my noble sisters to look at the Salaf, the righteous predecessors from the companions and the Tabi'een, and see what they were upon. Yes, from amongst the women there were scholars. However, did they sit in front of the men and speak publicly, or did they remain in their houses as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them with, and only speak when there is a need and when there is a reason, such as narrating hadith? When there is a reason, they would answer, for example, questions and the likes of these things, but they did not speak in public in front of the men. This is not befitting for the women. Likewise, take as an example, as a role model, the likes of the two women who Musa alayhi salam, he saw, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned to us in Surah Al-Qasas, وَلَمَّا وَرَدَ مَاءَ مَدْيَنَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said regarding Musa alayhi salam, when he came to the water of Madian, وجد عليه أمة من الناس يسقون ووجد من دونهم امرأتين تذودان قال ما خطبكما قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء وأبونا شيخ كبير. So Musa alayhi salam, when he came to the water of Madian, he found people giving water to their flocks and allowing their flocks to drink from the water. And he found two women who are preventing their animals and their flocks from entering and drinking. And he said to them, he asked them, what is the matter? What is the matter? What is your matter? What is the matter concerning you? And they said to him, we do not allow our flocks to drink until the shepherds take away their animals. And our father is an old man. So they answered two concerns that he had, that Musa alayhi salam had to them. The first concern is why are they bringing their animals to drink with the men? This shows us and tells us that it is not befitting for the women in general to be with the men and to act like the men, meaning being in as they say, in the workforce and be out there with the men. This is not befitting for the women. What is befitting for the women is to stay in their houses and only leave if there is a reason. And that is their second answer. وَأَبُونَا شَيْخٌ كَبِيرٌ. And our father is an old man. Meaning this is the reason why they left and why they went in the first place. So they do not allow their animals to go and drink so that they don't end up mixing with the men. Those are the two righteous women. They did not want to be with the men and to mix with the men. So they prevent their animals from going and drinking from the watering hole until the men finish and leave. And then they come and allow their animals and their flocks to drink. And why did they come in the first place? It is because their father is an old man. About the likes of these women, that Musa alayhi salam, he said, رَبِّ إِنِّي لِمَا أَنزَلْتَ إِلَيَّ مِنْ خَيْرٍ فَقِيرٍ. I am in need of the good that you have sent down to me. Referring to marriage and to this matter. Now, and then look how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described those women. فَجَاءَتْهُ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ قَالَتْ إِنَّ أَبِي يَدْعُوكَ لِيَجْزِيَكَ أَجْرَ مَا سَقَيْتَ لَنَا. One of them, she came to him walking with shyness, and she said to him, our father is calling you to come so that he would reward you for that which you have done, watering our flocks and giving water to our flocks. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the way she came, that she came with shyness. Furthermore, I heard from our Sheikh, the Sheikh Abdurrahman Al-Umaysan Hafidahullah, our beloved noble Sheikh, Sheikh Al-Diktor, Dr. Abu Abdullah Abdurrahman Al-Umaysan, may Allah preserve him. He mentioned, he said he prayed behind Sheikh Ali Al-Hudayfi, the Imam of the Haram in Medina. He said many years in Ramadan when he recites the entire Quran. And he said that whenever he comes to this ayah, he would recite it in this way. فَجَاءَتْهُ إِحْدَاهُمَا تَمْشِي عَلَى اسْتِحْيَاءٍ على استحياء قالت إن أبي يدعوك ليجزيك أجر ما سقيت لنا. So basically, that he would say in the meaning of the ayah, one of them came to him walking with shyness. And then he would repeat, with shyness she said, our father. Meaning that she walked with shyness and she spoke with shyness. So a woman speaking in public and giving Islamic talks, whether in a place, in a physical place, or even on social media, this is not befitting for the women. Unless, like I said, she is amongst women, just women, and she has knowledge, she's able to teach the women, and alhamdulillah, that is something that is excellent. And may Allah reward her with good if this is the case. As if she speaks in the presence of men, then no, this should not be the case. This should never be the case. Barakallahu feekum. And alhamdulillah, you can benefit the people. This does not mean that you don't study and seek knowledge and benefit the people. You can benefit the sisters, and in addition, you can benefit the people in general by way of writing books, by way of nowadays, with the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can transcript a lot of the lectures, a lot of the talks, a lot of the classes, you can transcript them. So you can benefit the people without needing to speak in public. Now, so another sister, inshallah, we take just this question and leave the rest, inshallah, until next class, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. So a sister, she said, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Is it permissible to do composite veneer for selected teeth to improve the appearance of teeth? Teeth will have an even natural color. The process involving scraping away a tiny bit of the outer layer of the tooth, and then trimming if necessary, and then attaching a thin layer of composite material. Now, the people of knowledge, they talk about this matter. First of all, if it is, we say whitening one's teeth without the use of veneers and things like that is permissible, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, such as with cleaning, whitening toothpaste, or even some of the whitening, some people, they use whitening strips and things like that. That is permissible, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, because this is, you're merely returning the teeth back to their natural color and removing the discoloration or the stains that come because of food. So that is permissible, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. And as a matter of fact, this is from the forms of cleaning one's teeth. It is, in a way, it is a type of cleaning one's teeth. Whereas veneers, if there is no medical reason for them, such as, if I understand correctly, that some people, they have they have a medical reason to use veneers, such as they have weak teeth, or their teeth could become infected, or the likes of these things, so they apply a layer on top of them to prevent that. If that is the case, then inshallah there is no harm. There's no harm. Of course, one should see a doctor who is known to be upright and to be correct, and not merely want the money of the people and say you need this and you need that, and start doing those types of surgeries or these types of things to the people for no reason. Rather, if one sees a good doctor, one who is trustworthy, and this trustworthy doctor says that yes, this individual does need veneers, then inshallah there is no harm. Whereas doing veneers merely for beauty, then the people of knowledge, they say this is impermissible. The Messenger ﷺ, he mentioned types of people that are cursed, and from them he mentioned the women who shave off parts of their teeth for beauty, to beautify themselves. And this, without a doubt, is a form of changing one's appearance for beauty, and that is not allowed except if there is a reason. Either, we said, a medical reason, or another reason would be if a person has something that causes him to look, or any brother or sister that has something, a defect in his appearance, It causes him to look as if he has a defect. Normal people, if they see it, they say that this is a defect. And that the person has some defect in their appearance. The people of knowledge, they say it is permissible to correct the defects in one's appearance. Naam, wallahu alam. The last question that we have is a lengthy matter. So the sister asked, can you sum up the rights of the husband so that the wives know? We say, barakallahu fikum, this is a very lengthy matter. This is a very lengthy matter. We will either try to answer it, or we, in regards to this, I recommend, there is recently, maybe a year ago or so, our Sheikh Abdurrahman Al-Maysan, Hafidahullah, he gave a series of lectures, a conference completely about the rights. And from them he spoke in detail about the rights of the husbands over their wives and the rights of the wives over their husbands. And it is translated, alhamdulillah, with the bounty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon me, that I translated the entire conference. And the class itself, those two classes, I think the rights of the husband over the wife were two classes, if I'm not mistaken, and they are all translated. And I do have them on my channel, so inshallah you can refer back to them. And if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to, perhaps we answer the question a little briefly in the next class. Now, as to go back to the book, and alhamdulillah, we had a lot of questions, so of course this is, it took a lot of time, but inshallah we will try to take maybe a question or two from the book itself. So Shaykh rahimahullah was asked, and now we reach, as we mentioned, we finished the chapter regarding questions about seeking knowledge and the matters of seeking knowledge, and we reached the chapter regarding purification, purity and purification. So the Shaykh rahimahullah was asked, المرأة تطهر من الحيض بخروج القصة البيضاء فهل يجوز لزوجها أن يجامعها قبل أن تغتسل وماذا عليه إذا لم يكن هناك رخصة إذا فعله. So he rahimahullah was asked that after the woman finishes her menses, she becomes pure from her menses, is it permissible for her husband to have a relationship with her? And if he does, and that was not permissible, meaning that it is not permissible, but yet he did have a relationship with her, what is upon him? What does he do? So the Shaykh rahimahullah, he said, this is a matter that the people of knowledge have differed upon, especially the early people of knowledge. قال مسألة اختلف فيها العلماء المتقدمون رحمهم الله والذي يظهر لي أنه لا يجوز أن يجامعها إلا بعد أن تغتسل. He said, what I find is the correct opinion is that he should not, and that it is not permissible for him to have a relationship with her until she takes a bath, a legislative bath. لأن الله يقول فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله. يعني الآية يسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن. الله سبحانه وتعالى ذكر حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن، فهناك يعني أنها تطهر ثم بعد أن تطهر تتطهر. ما هو التطهر؟ هو أن تغتسل. نعم. قال الشيخ رحمه الله دليل على أن هناك تطهرا. So he said, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, and in the meaning of the ayah, and if they purify themselves, then have a relationship with them in the way that Allah commanded you or legislated for you. So the Shaykh rahimahullah is referring, he said, so there is purification. What the Shaykh is referring to, rahimahullah, is the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ. They ask you about the menses. قُلْ هُوَ أَذَى. Say it is a harm. فَاعْتَزِلُوا النِّسَاءَ فِي الْمَحِيضِ. So do not have a relationship with the wives and leave having relationships with the wives when they are on their menses. حَتَّى يَطْهُرْنَ. Until they become pure. فَإِذَا تَطَهَّرْنَ. And then if they purify themselves, فَأْتُوهُنَّ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَمَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ. Then have a relationship with them in the way that Allah legislated for you. So the Shaykh rahimahullah is saying that, so there is purification, meaning that they become pure and then purify themselves. They become pure by finishing their menses, and they purify themselves by taking the legislative bath. قال رحمه الله أما ماذا عليه لو فعل ذلك. As for what is upon him if he does so, قال عليه أن يتوب إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. يعني السائل يقول يعني ماذا عليه، أي هل عليه مثلا من كفارة أو في شيء معين. قال عليه أن يتوب إلى الله، يعني لا يوجد كفارة لهذا العمل، وإنما يجب عليه أن يتوب إلى الله سبحانه وتعالى. الله سبحانه وتعالى يقبل التوبة. إذا تاب العبد تائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له. Now, so the Shaykh rahimahullah said, as for what is upon him if he does have a relationship with her before she takes a bath, meaning the question is, the person who asked is asking, is there an expiation? Is there anything specific that one has to do if he does have a relationship with his wife before she takes the legislated bath? And he rahimahullah, he said what is upon him is to repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning there's no expiation, there's nothing specific that he has to do and she has to do other than repenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And of course, as we know, one who repents to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from a sin, it is as if he never committed the sin, from the bounty and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we will conclude with this. We only took one question, but alhamdulillah we answered many of the questions of the sisters. So we will conclude with this. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله